Hello. This is actually take 2 of this video because I tried to film it and it was just not going well. There are a lot of cars outside driving by, and I am hoping at least the ones that drive by now are a little bit quieter and not like extremely loud trucks and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna be going through my bookshelf, and everything is like slightly out of place from the last time. But these books up here are books that I have not, for the most part, read. Some of these books, like this one, was a book that was required for a college class, but then we never read it. But I think I'm going to read it anyway, because, I mean, I went through the trouble of buying it. My floor is probably going to make noise every time I move, because it's an old house, hardwood floors. And then I have some candles, some tea light candles in this little like vine basket. And I don't really like glass tapping, but I know some people do. This is just a welcome winter snowman votive holder, and the candle that's in there is melted down. It's like a singing bowl. And then this is another candle. It's a beeswax candle that's in the shape of a bird. I have never burned. And then I have a little bag of quarters. This is from when I went on vacation in the summer for like parking in the arcades and stuff like that. And I just never put it back with the other coins because sometimes you just need quarters on their own. And then this cactus pen is like awkward to film. And it's just a cactus in a pot. Like a rubbery. And this is an old bookcase, so it's kind of scuffed up. Just the way that I'm sitting. So then these are DVDs. some of these are movies that I bought for the most part, just because I like them, and then some of them are movies that I just bought at like flea markets or similar places, like very cheap, like Kill Bill Volume 2. That's why I don't have the first one, because it was like $1 for that one at the flea market. And then these two books are not mine. I have to return them to the person they belong to. But I actually borrowed this for a college class, and I didn't have a copy. And then Hugo Cabret. This was also for a college class. I took a children's literature class, and at one point we could just pick the book that we wanted, but it had to be for a young audience. And this is the book I chose because someone had a copy. It's like illustrated, but then also has written parts. It's not only illustrated. It's a very good book and has some really nice drawings. Coming out of the book jacket. But that's why I have those separately. And then I have these Hydrate Me's. They're you put them on your skin when you get out of the shower, but before you dry off, and they moisturize, and these ones are not used, so I just have them up here so I don't lose track of them. I like the sound of the DVDs. It sounds weird. And then down here, I have books that I have mostly read or I just have for reference. Like this is a guide to mushrooms. If you wanted to go out and identify or forage, this tells you whether or not you can eat them, or, I mean, you can eat anything, but whether or not it'll kill you. As well as if it tastes good, how rare it is, if it's something that can easily be confused with something else. As well as, like, location, how they grow, how they look in the wild. This one's, like, on a tree. These are out of a stump. I'm looking through the camera, so I can't really tell. This one's, like, out of the ground. And, yeah. If you are foraging for mushrooms, you have to be very careful, because a lot of them will kill you, or at least make you very sick. And then, it says Wuthering Heights. And my mom got me this copy, and I've already read this book. I mean, I read this copy, but it's one of her favorite books, so I'm just going to keep it. It's a really nice copy. It has this, like, I mean, you can't really tell on camera, but it's a very, like, shiny page ending. I can't think of the word. It's not binding, but something similar. And it's like all leather. Texture. And then I have the bell jar. This is a book that I'll probably never get rid of because it's one of my favorites, and I have reread it a few times since I first bought this copy, like 10 years ago. But it's kind of beat up from being in my backpack, and that was my stomach because I am hungry. But I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of this copy. I don't like to keep books because I feel like they take up a lot of room, but like if it's a book that I would reread often, I'll keep it. I tend to get most of my books from the library. This is a book that I bought used because the library didn't have it at the time. And it's The Snake Pit by Mary Jane Ward. And this book is kind of similar to The Bell Jar, but it's more like focused on the institution rather than personal life. It's very good. I think it was written in like the 40s. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, 1946. This copy might actually be like old too, based on like how it looks. I bought this on like a used book website. And then the rest of these books, we have like graphic novels. I think I've read all of these. Yeah. And then I have, let me move these. I have Ray Bradbury stories. This is his short stories, not his like novels. And then Harpo Speaks, Catch-22, and then the sequel. I haven't read the sequel, but Catch-22 is one of my favorite books of all time. I have a lot of 50th anniversary editions. But this is a great book. I've heard mixed reviews about the sequel. And I think I read like the first chapter and then kind of forgot about it. But I'll probably read this eventually. And then Harpo Speaks is Harpo Marx's like autobiography. And it's very good, very insightful to like old Hollywood. Let me move these back where they came from. And then I have French for Dummies because I want to learn French, and I'm still kind of learning French. I'm not really using this book though because it's a little bit hard to, not hard to read. I mean, I guess I'm a dummy, but it's more like I don't do well with book form for languages. I do better with like practice websites and flashcards and like that sort of thing. And it's like Grand Central Station outside. I apologize. I don't have a lot of time to film. I mean, I have time. It's just a matter of finding a time where it's not extremely loud, because I live in a very busy area, and if it's not the traffic, then it's like kids waiting for the bus and screaming, which is not relaxing and not quiet. Or the people I live with are making noises, like even at night. So it's been more a matter of finding time where it's quiet. But anyway, onto the books. I have a coloring book for 50s fashions. Adult coloring books got really popular a few years ago, and I thought that I would enjoy doing them, and I don't. I did like one picture and then I was like, this is not for me. I prefer doing like puzzles. And then I have Strange Planet. I don't want that to fall, which a friend got for me for my birthday. It's like a comic series. And then this is How to Talk Dirty and Influence People by Lenny Bruce, which was very funny when I read it like 8 years ago. I would assume that it is still funny, but I kept it because I feel like I'll probably reread it at some point, and it's kind of a hard book to find. And then I have H.G. Wells, the entire collection. Well, maybe not. I don't know. A collection of H.G. Wells stories. War of the Worlds, The Invisible Man, The Time Machine. I think I've only read through The Invisible Man and War of the Worlds and not the rest of them. I'm not like the biggest fan of H.G. Wells, but I thought I was when I bought this book 10 years ago. I bought a lot of books 10 years ago. Gone with the Wind, I read 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I can't remember, but I really liked it. I always liked the movie, and the book is a lot better than the movie, if you've ever seen the movie, which is very long. And then these are just like individual comic books that I got from flea markets, like antique shows. They always have comic book vendors at antique shows, and these are like, a lot of them are 80s and 90s era, but I usually only get stuff from heroes that I really like I have some Vision and Scarlet Witch. I have a lot of Silver Surfer. I think I have like some old Justice League International, and then like really old Suicide Squad, like when it first started. But I like them. I don't know. I try not to buy them now because they just pile up. But and then I have 2 giant coffee table type books. I put that in quotes because they're obviously not on a coffee table right now. This one is Creating the Illusion. But this book is about old Hollywood and costumes, and like how a lot of famous movie costumes came to be designed. And there's a lot of photos, like really nice photos, big photos. So if you're interested in old Hollywood, this book is worth checking out. Try and get it from your library because it was very expensive. I think it was like $40. I bought it a few years ago. And then this is my foot. And then this is the Louvre. This is a book my mom got me for Christmas a few years ago. And it's really just a picture book with some like captions about paintings, and these are all paintings that are in the Louvre and sculptures and stuff like that. And it's just a really beautiful book because the photos are really nice. But those are my 2 giant coffee table books. They're huge. And that is about it. I'm not going to go through everything individually because it would probably be, if anything, it would put you to sleep out of boredom. But there's not much else to it. That is my bookshelf with my books, my DVDs, and then more books, miscellaneous. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a good